And good afternoon to everybody. So I guess we still need on time for lunch. So don't worry, I'll go through in 10 minutes. So the topic will be upwelling thermofrance. If you look at the topic, it's long, and in fact it covers many aspects of or many features in the ocean, which I think rather ambitious for 10 minutes. So what I'll do is I'll just go through some of the important findings, and I wanted to dedicate that this presentation, especially for chemical oceanographer, biological oceanographer, because I guess I can know maybe one or two physical oceanographers in here, but I guess the importance of this study is to those people who wanted to know what is the condition, because I always face lots of my colleagues who do chemical, biological, always ask about dynamics, because they know that this thing happens for some reason. So, and they need me to explain the reason, which most of the time I couldn't. But hopefully this presentation can explain a few things. Okay, when we talk about data collections, usually we say that in South China Sea, Straits of Malacca, there's no data. And look at that, that is World Ocean database from 1950s. There's more than 10,000 data over there, but nobody knows about that, right? I just realized about this last week when we had this training, ocean teacher training in remote sensing lab. And that's amazing, you know, 10,000 sets of data, so somebody must be, you know, cracking into that data and explain something, but that's not happening. So, but most surprisingly, I select from that 60 years of data sets, I just select 10 for the past 10 years. What's the data that we have? And that amazed me. This is a data set from the past 10 years. From that 60 years data sets. I thought that, I mean, if you look at stock market, it's going up, right? I mean, unless you're looking at the Malaysia currency exchange, it's going up. So, I mean, that's somehow, you know, relates really well with Malaysian currency exchange. So, it is just like 200 stations during the past 20 years, past 10 years from the World Ocean data sets. And if I put INOS efforts and UMT efforts for South China Sea and Straits of Malacca for the past 5 years, from 2011, what are you going to see? Is that amazing? So you add more, about 300 more stations to that two area, which just had 200 stations for the World Ocean data sets. So, I mean, and that must explain something about the scientific features, because you're not going to go, you know, spend millions of ringgits for 300 stations without nothing. So I'm going to explain to you some of the very important aspects that we found that we think it's very interesting for everybody to just know, and then probably we can talk more afterwards. I've looked at this diagram 5 years ago, and I said, oh, this is amazing if we can have that. But I'm proud to be you know, UMT members and INOS researcher, because I can tell you now, this is what we've been doing. So we have our RV discovery running now and then. We have our satellite data, real-time images downloading every hours and every seconds. We have our buoy system. In fact, we are the first university to deploy our own buoy, although it's low-cost buoy. You know, it just got me like 30,000 ringgit to deploy it. But I mean, I don't care as long as it gives me data, so that's good for me. We're now deploying gliders. So we have a set of data from gliders, so we hope we're going to deploy it in the future, more of gliders data. So we have airwag runs for now almost 4 years, giving us valuable amounts of data sets. I mean, it's amazing. If I'm going to show you some of the data that will surprise you. So we have temperature sensors and lots of these happenings in INOS. And we want you to know, because we want to share with you, because I believe that you also have very much same interest on the oceanography. I'm afraid I'm going to run out of time, but just go through. Okay, the first thing that we found, upwelling system. Somebody have explained something about upwelling like last 5-6 years, but nobody ever explained to you what actually happens in the ocean. So we managed to capture that transect cross-section along the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. It shows you the thermocline uplifting, a classical image of upwelling. So we guess that might be some sort of coincidence, but no, I mean we saw that for every transect. And then when you look at the satellite images, look at that cold water along the Peninsular Malaysia. Isn't it amazing? You have this patch of cool water suddenly come out from nowhere, and science can explain that. I mean, that's upwelling. But we still need some further classification. I mean, data set from nutrients, from biological people to actually show the intensity of upwelling happens. So this is during June, July, August, and September, south of monsoon. Cool water, cool water. I mean, that's it. Next, the next season, it's getting warmer again. And it happens because of the wind stress system. The wind stress field is going in one direction along shore, the coastline, and then it pushes the Ekman transport to the right, so you get the upwelling along the coast during that 4 months. Look at the fish landings. This is not coincident because most of the fish happens to be, I mean, the highest amounts of fish stock is high during September, October, August, and September, which is during high intensity of upwelling season. I remember that last few weeks, our team went to the Dumon to get back our sensor from the buoy. So most of them, get lots of zooplankton on their body because I mean that area basically in Dumon, there's highest intensity of upwellings during that season. Interaction of surrounding seas. This is amazing because nobody ever explained about intrusion waters from Java Sea. In fact, we saw that during August and September. A strong current coming from along Karimata Straits. It brings cool water, which I don't know why, because Java Sea is supposed to be in the middle of Khatulistiwa or equator, and it's supposed to be warm, but it has a pool of cool water and high productivity. And that's amazing because it adds more productivity into the system, so it gives you more productivity there. And then another one is a frontal system. This is just been published in our group in Continental Shelf Research. A frontal, we call it as thermal fronts. So that is a system where you have a difference between Gulf of Thailand and also South China Sea system. If you look at that, there's a Kuala Terengganu in the warm area, and there is Dumon in the cool area. So you basically have two different systems altogether during southern monsoon because one area is warm, one area is very cool. So what caused that? So there's lots of dynamical explanation that we need to go through for that. So I've gone through the Karimata Straits. Look at this. So you can see the development of pool of cool water from Java Sea, and it goes up according to the current circulation along the and then from September, and then it starts to slow down during October. All right. So and then we've done one amazing thing happens. Long-term observation from Kuala Terengganu. This is data from 2014. You're not going to believe this. I mean, we have this cool water intrusion during June, which drops almost 5 degrees Celsius. So we never gone through that experience before because our data is very limited. But somehow we put 3 sensors, and all sensors capture the same things, the drops of temperature. So we don't know why, but we are working on it. We believe that there might be something to do with tidal intrusion or internal wave that push some cool water from somewhere else into the system. But you can see the drops happens exactly during June, 5-degree drops. And when we look at the previous data sets, 2013, we see the similar drops, but not as strong, but you see similar trends during June. So what actually happened? What's so special about June? We don't actually know. So probably we're going to work with some chemical oceanographer or biological oceanographer to explain more. Just because the seminar is about South China Sea and Straits of Malacca, so I guess we need to show something on Straits of Malacca because if you go through most of this presentation, out of 70 presenters, there's only 3 presenters that's going to explain to you about South China Sea and Straits of Malacca in the same presentation. few important things where most of this circulation happens because of tides. Alright, so tidal currents play a major role. So that is because when we have, I remember that we have one Poe is presenting the nutrients. I just wonder, give me 1 more 2 minutes. I just wonder because most of this circulation is tidally influenced. So one snapshot, I mean, not going to tell you a lot, but I mean, give you some overview. But you need to go to have get lots of data sets to make sure that you get a good explanation for it. There's another recirculation, like a big eddy in the middle of the Straits of Malacca. So it is quite similar to what we had in across east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. And I just met this guy, I mean, doing chemical oceanography. They said that they are very interested in this kind of eddy system because it has a very interesting dynamics between surface and subsurface water, which I guess have the similarities between the Straits of Malacca and South China Sea. Intrusion waters between Andaman Sea and South China Sea, again, I mean, it explains a lot. During different seasons, there's some warm water, cool water exchange between the two, so which also dominant in Straits of Malacca. So you also need to look at the influence of other ocean. So that's it. There's a few more, but I'm going to skip. And for conclusions, there's a lots of data sets being produced in INOS and in UFT, and we managed to see a lots of new features that need to be explained a little more from different other perspectives. I believe physical oceanography, biological oceanography, and chemical oceanography can work together and find a better understanding, in-depth understanding on each particular features that we saw. So that's all. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much.